Imagine closing consistently over 100,000 in commission every single year for free while only working about 4 to 5 days per week and only working with the clients that you really want to work with. Sounds like a dream, but that's exactly what Marty Pettiford has done. In this interview, Marty breaks down her YouTube strategy, how she was able to balance it while also taking care of her 2 young kids, and the simple process that she created that allowed her to be consistent and have a ton of fun while doing it. But here's something that she's never shared before: how she struggled with Instagram for 2 to 3 years and was getting no clients despite posting on it. She made one simple change, and now she's getting clients every single month for free, also from Instagram. So if you want consistent clients coming to you every single month that actually turn into closed deals, this is going to be your blueprint. And she breaks down every single detail of what she does. Now, 2 quick things before bringing Marty on. Number 1, I will link both her YouTube channel and her Instagram below so that you can check out the content that we're referring to. And number 2, Marty is a servant at heart. She loves to coach and mentor people. So if you would like her help for free to scale your business to the next level, like she's helped many others do, click the link in the description and you can book a call with her as well. So without further ado, let's bring on Marty and talk about the proven process of generating consistent closed deals from both YouTube and Instagram. All right, Marty, well, super excited to have you back. I know that we've had you on the channel before, but the way you've been able to just build this trajectory ever since that first conversation we've had is unbelievable. And to see how you've grown and how your content's evolved is amazing. And you've achieved some pretty incredible success. So really excited to dive into how you're turning views into clients and some of the funnel strategies that you've been able to apply. But first, for anybody that maybe didn't see that first conversation, give yourself an introduction, who you are, where you're from, and what got you to this
My
point.
name is Marty Pettiford, and I am an agent out of Atlanta, Georgia. And I started my journey in real estate about 3 years ago. I was working as a full-time retail manager at a grocery chain, and I had done that for around 10 years at that same company, and I needed a change. And real estate provided that opportunity for me to get some of that time freedom back, and just I didn't know what I was getting into. I just knew I wanted something different than the environment that I was in. So I got licensed. In the middle of that, I had a toddler and had just had a newborn, and I was working about 50 hours a week. And eventually I turned that into a full-time job doing real estate, and I was able to leave my 50-hour-a-week job and sustain myself and my family on real estate. And the first year, I did 100K in GCI, and that was with being full-time. I was only full-time for about 8 out of the 12 months that year. And the next year I did the same thing. And, here we are. I'm into my 3rd year, and I've just been, just going with it. And throughout the market shifts, I mean, we've been through, I think every year for me has been a different type of market. I've been able to be innovative with the content that I put out to get the leads to come in and convert those leads to sales. And I don't work full time as a real estate agent. At first, I was only working like 3 days a week up until this year. And now I'm working around 4, maybe 5 days, but it's still not full time. So I love that the route that I've chosen to build my business has been a route that gives me that time freedom back. And I only want to be able to do this if I can have that. And so that's pretty much my background, and I'm excited to share with you all today everything that I possibly can.
I love that. It's been amazing to see that, you built your business on your terms. You haven't let the business run you, but rather you're running the business. And before getting into, one of the primary topics of conversation of views into leads, I'd love to go back to those first 4 months of part-time because I've trained thousands of agents to leverage video and especially YouTube. And one of the most common excuses I always hear is I don't have time. and there's always some sort of an excuse as to why people can't fit video or social into their calendar. And then there's, this beautiful woman that's working 50 hours a week with kids and a husband, and you're doing all of these things, but you've been consistent, you took action, and you never rested on an excuse. You never made time an obstacle of yours, but rather you got creative with it. How did you start to balance that incredible family that you have and your job while taking action and getting your journey on
So
YouTube
I wouldn't
started?
say it was necessarily a balancing act as much as it was focusing on what was important at that moment. So, like you said
Mhm.
before, I worked 50 hours a week and it wasn't a predictable schedule. Even when we did get our schedules out a month in advance, they could always change. But I did take the time off that I did have to create YouTube videos. I did a little cold calling, which I dedicated an hour a day on my off days to cold calling, and that got me my first sale. That wasn't myself. It got me my first transaction, and that really kind of set the tone for my career and me being able to live the position that I was in because of that. So I didn't create excuses. I was willing to do uncomfortable things such as cold call. I mean, I know nobody really likes it, but if you're getting results from it, I bet you will like it. And I did that
Yeah.
until my YouTube channel was able to take off because I know, ideally I don't want to sit at a desk all day. I didn't, if I had a choice, and I always said, what would it look like if it were easy? And that to me was putting out a video and have people call me, um, and have that lead source on creating evergreen content that 3 years ago I made a video and I'm still getting calls from it. So that was my version of easy, and that's what I created. And so when you ask yourself a question like that, you can literally do whatever you want because it all works. But what doesn't work is inconsistency, mentality, and lack of awareness. It are two things that were, I think everybody fights against that. I fought against that. But those were two obstacles that you have to continually overcome. And even when you are doing good, you have that little voice in your head that says, oh, well, maybe next year won't be as great. You have to figure out how to get over that because a lot of that it's not a physical obstacle. It's just you getting in your way. And so honestly, once I was able to overcome that hurdle, it kind of happened naturally. And it happened early on, and there were still, bumps along the way. I wouldn't say that I was consistent on my YouTube channel 100% of the time, always putting out content. I mean, there was a gap of at least 3 months where I refused to get on video because my hairdresser was on maternity leave. And I didn't put out a video. And, I didn't see the effects of that on my business right then. But hey, a few months later, when I realized I wasn't getting a lot of phone calls, I reverted it back to that time I took off because of some kind of, vanity. And done is better than perfect. But said all that to say consistency, and whatever you start out with, be able to keep up with it and not make an excuse because every way in real estate works. You just have to find out what works for you. And there's still times even to this day, I love what I do. So sometimes I will be on my phone or try to post content when I should be spending time with my family. And I have to have like a reality check. And a lot of times the reality check comes from my husband or from my mom, like, hey, you're ignoring us. And I'm like, oh, sorry. So it's no way perfect. But you kind of figure out that balance as you go along in different seasons of this journey.
Yeah, definitely. It's a process, and I love that you say nobody's ever going to be perfect, because you have to find out what works for you, and it's not easy when you're passionate and excited about what you're doing. And you said my favorite quote, which is "Done is better than perfect," and I'd love to lean into that for a second because one of the things that I love about your content is how genuine and authentic you are. And we're going to link your channel below in all of your content, and it's not the most overly produced content. It's not the content that takes days to prepare for, and it has to be perfectly shot with 4K cameras and all of these logistics that get in the way. You just execute, and when I watch your videos, I'm like, yeah, that's the woman I met in person to a T. And I think that's why people love to connect with you. But do you want to talk about that, about, how you just executed with the tools and the equipment that you have, and really that you've just been able to be yourself on camera, which I think has allowed people to really connect to build this genuine
Yeah, so I've
relationship with you.
never been one that's camera shy. So I feel like it's really easy for me to be myself on camera. So the way that I speak on camera is the way that you will meet me in person. And then once you get to know me, like that's it's another side. It's more fun side and stuff. And I don't always want to show that part on camera because I do want people to think I'm professional, but I think I give enough of it for the person on the other side of the screen say, well, she has a personality. She's not boring. And I think I want to know more about her, or at least look at more of her videos to see if this is someone I can work with. And from the beginning, when I started my videos, I think my first video I did myself on my iPhone. A lot of you don't know my husband is also a professional videographer. He's a professional marketing person, and he's my CMO of my real estate company. Um, and we have collaborated over the years. And I mean, I don't share this with a lot of people, and I don't even think I've said it out loud, but there's been times where we weren't getting along personally, and it impacted our filming schedule. And that was probably one of the biggest hurdles to get over. And it would go between, we're working together, we're not working together. And so you'll see on my channel the professional videos with like the drone, like where that's when he's filming. And if you see me in the next video and I have my iPhone out and it's first person mode, that's me. Because maybe we got into an argument that day and then we didn't want to spend time with each other. So now I'm going out and filming the videos. But the thing that I want to point out in that whole thing is I still went and did it. I didn't let that stop me. And there's been times where I didn't want to do it, or there was a lot emotionally going on, and I just did it anyways because I know that getting out content is the main part. It's the biggest, it's the goal. Not even the views are the biggest thing, but if you put out content, people will consume it. And that was my ultimate goal. So no matter what I'm feeling like, if I feel like I don't look that great today, or if I feel like I'm not in, we're having an argument and we're not getting along, and we got to do the content anyways, because eventually those problems will solve itself. We'll figure it out because, this is our business together. And sometimes business partners disagree. It's no different than, anybody else that has a business partner. But I think that not having a professional team is not an excuse to get it done because, like I said, iPhone, gimbal, that's it. Not even a mic, So, and then when I can create that curated like content, I do, and people definitely see the difference. And then in all the videos, I try to like show my personality just by being on camera, saying what I like about the house, giving people more information about the neighborhood, maybe doing a voiceover after it's filmed, and making a little funny joke here or there, or whatever, just giving the people just a little bit of what they can expect when they're working with you.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I really appreciate you being so open and honest about that, because I think some people could hear, the fact that your husband is, in this space and he's got all this experience with that, and immediately they could shut down and say, well, of course she could do it with YouTube because she's got him. But then you flip the script and say, well, there's two sides to every story. There's always going to be a pro and con of having somebody or not having somebody, right? And I love that you so transparently shared that. Before getting into how you've been able to turn views into clients, I'd love for you to kind of just unpack what type of content you're actually seeing success with, because when I look at your videos, and I've watched plenty of them, I do see that variety, but a lot of them is a certain style of content, and it seems to be something that you've just been consistent with. What have you found works
So
well for
that
you?
answer is going to depend on the platform I'm on. So for YouTube, it's pretty simple.
Mm.
I've done the informational videos with my lender. Those have done pretty well, but the majority of my videos have just been home tours. And I kind of switched from doing model home tours from spec builders to doing custom builders or semi-custom builders that have high quality. And I wanted to do that because that home specifically wasn't saturated. I wanted to attract a different type of client. And I just wanted to have I guess you say, a easier experience. Because when you go up in price point, you're getting a certain type of client. So I started all of this, no matter what platform I am, figuring out who is my ideal client and who am I talking to and what are they looking for. And then I figure out, now on YouTube, I get my keywords first and figure out which cities are performing well with SEO, which keywords for homes are performing well. So I'm looking for things with acreage, with owner suite on the main, and that's going to attract a type of client. That's going to attract a type of client. And that's been my bread and butter on YouTube. I can put those videos out, get 1,000 views within the first couple of days, and the calls come in. On Instagram, the journey has been a little bit more difficult because I've tried different things out since I started. I've been doing Instagram for 3 years, and I just got momentum on my Instagram this past summer. So like 4 to 6 months ago. And what I changed in that, I kind of duplicated what I was doing on YouTube. And that's how I changed my perspective on Instagram. So the idea came like, let me just recreate a smaller version of what I'm doing on YouTube because people seem to like that. So now I'm going back to who's my ideal client on Instagram, because the same people that are on YouTube aren't necessarily on Instagram. My demographic is mostly older men on YouTube. On Instagram, it's middle-aged women. So I'm creating content for them. So I try to evoke emotion out of people on Instagram with my tags. I'm showing the same kind of houses. Most of the time it is the same house, and I'll just do it in vertical form. And I'm just showing the most important part of the home that women would most likely want. So the front of the house, the kitchen, the owner suite, the owner suite bathroom. And I have like a catchy tag like, come tour this $1 million home with me. Or have you ever wondered what it's like to live in this city? Well, I'm going to tell you about it. And those are catchy. It creates a little bit of emotion for the people that are watching. And I set up my mini chat to, comment this word. And then when they comment that word, whatever I'm trying to do, whether it's to get them to my YouTube channel to watch long form content or to capture their information, I set it up like that, and it gets the information to them right away. And since I've done that, I've closed 2 deals from Instagram. And those, I know 2 deals, not a lot, but it's 2 deals within the last 4 months. And those 2 deals have brought over $60,000 in GCI. And it was like 2 different people, but one of those clients sent me a referral. They sent me another referral. And now I'm having repeat clients or a referral-based client. And that's something that I think every realtor wants in their business, because those are like, you already done the work for it and now you're reaping the rewards. So I think that, and also the price point on those homes and those clients and those closings, they were higher than I would have gotten just from going to my sphere directly, which was that was originally the only leads that I was getting from Instagram, was people that already knew me. So I've been that was my goal for so long, like get people that don't know me on Instagram. And I finally figured it out. And I think what's kind of funny is I don't put out content a lot on Instagram. I only put out content that's going to be valuable to my ideal client. So I might go 2 weeks without posting on my grid. I keep my stories updated. I try to update my stories every day. But once I figure out like, okay, this is a good quality piece of content that's going to drive value, I put it out there and it gets views. It gets thousands of views. And those thousands of views turns into leads. And I don't post just to post anymore. And I think that was kind of the thing that kind of changed my trajectory on Instagram specifically. And those are the only 2 platforms I do. And Facebook, I throw Facebook in there because whatever goes on Instagram goes on Facebook, and Facebook is still a sphere platform for me. So I'm always getting, interest from that, just because it's people that I know.
That's awesome. No, I love that. And there's there's some really important messages to kind of unpack from that journey of the fact that like your Instagram took years to find its way and find, carve out its own space of success for you. A lot of people would have given up. And I think that's a huge testament to you and your journey of the fact that you just trust this process and realize that if you tweak things and look at the data, find out who your target avatar is, what gets measured gets managed. And I think that's really cool. Being very understanding that you've got two different audiences and how to curate content specifically to what those people care about. There's a lot to say about that and finding what works for you, which is super cool. Now, let's talk about that, turning views into clients, because there's a lot of people that start to put out content on YouTube and they feel like they're just spinning their tires. They feel like they're not getting any clients, they're not getting any leads. And I know you've done really well with that. So how have you started to take people that are just consuming your content to actual conversations and book
So I'll give you a
appointments?
background on why I started focusing on this, because I was getting calls from YouTube um, within my first year. Then one day I went into a model home. One day last year, went into a model home not far from my house, and I'm just there talking to the agent about to film one of their homes, and a couple sitting at the table was like, "Oh, I saw your video. You actually sent us here. Like, we saw your video and we decided to go there." And they went in the model house unrepresented. I wanted to ask them like, why didn't you call me? But I was like, oh, okay. And they're like, oh, you look so much like, they didn't say you look better in person, but they were just like, you look so, pretty. Like, you look like good in person. And I'm like, thank you. Like, I try to represent myself well. And I went into the restroom. I'm like, no, why didn't you call me? And so it was something that clicked. I'm like, think about, and my husband told me this all the time, think about how many people that you send to these neighborhoods and they go in without an agent, or maybe they send it to their agent. That's fine. They already have someone, but the people that are just going in there with nobody because you sent them, like, you have a video on that neighborhood, you have to figure out how to capture those people. And so now I'm like, okay, I can't just rely on people to call me. There's so many leads, so many comments that I'm getting. I don't really have the upper hand because I can only give them my information and then they have to call me, and I'm waiting on that, if I see someone that's interested in the comments. So what I decided to do was create a landing page and give a little piece of information. So it goes back to who's my ideal client. My ideal client is someone who's relocating to the metro Atlanta area, hopefully for a job that they're having transfer here. And they're looking for houses in the mid 500s and up. So I'm pinning out content for those people. So the houses are what they're looking for. The way that I get their information is trying to solve a problem for them. So if someone's relocating here, what's a big problem that they're going to have? They probably don't know the area. Maybe they visited once or twice, but they don't really know the different areas and how drastic they can be. So I put together a very simple 10-page relocation guide. So in my videos, at the beginning of my videos, I'll put like a screenshot of that video recording of me scrolling through the guide, so they kind of know what's in it and they know it's multiple pages and they're going to get some information, but they don't know exactly what they're going to get. And I asked them, if you're looking to move to the metro Atlanta area, download my free relocation guide. I will send it to you right away. So I send them to a landing page. They give me their email and their phone number, and now I have their information. After that, I put them in a sales funnel and I send them the email of the guide, obviously. If they give me their phone number, a follow-up text to let them know I sent, to check their email and maybe check their spam folder. And then the information that I send them after that are things that someone would be interested if they were moving to the area. So it's not all about a call to action. It's like, hey, these are my favorite places to eat. These are my favorite things to do. So now I'm staying top of mind, but not in a heavily sales kind of way. And then the last email is like, hey, let's connect on social media if you want to schedule a consultation. So I save that like for the last touch point, and that happens within like, I think the first 60 days. So I'm sending them stuff for 60 days. And so what that's doing is it's giving me a lead that I have their information. I can call them. I can email them. And then it gives me a higher probability that they're going to call me. So that is one of the things that has changed the business, because I think of it as two birds with one stone. Not only is it showing my value as an agent, but it's allowing me to pull them lower into my sales funnel. So now that when they do call me, they're like, "Oh, I've been on your channel for months and I'm finally ready to buy. I've already downloaded your relocation guide. And based on the information you gave me, I want to stay in this part of the city. I don't have any problems with getting them to sign a buyer agreement. I don't have to convince them to work with me. I've created that like, know, and trust, like I normally would have in the video, but kind of just solidified it even more by going that route. And that has gotten me so I think I've been doing it a year. It's gotten me about 82 leads, just from people that have downloaded the guide, and not including the people that have just called me because they saw the video or emailed me. Those are people that actually downloaded the content. And I also have it set up from on my Instagram. They don't click it as much on my Instagram as they do YouTube because I don't promote it as much on Instagram, but I have it in my link tree. And I have gotten people, very serious buyers, that download the guide and they'll book a call with me through my Calendly link, and they will answer, I don't know, like 20, 30 questions asking them about their house hunt and what they're looking for. And I'm pretty much getting a commitment at the end of that. If if we get along together in this call, are you open to signing a brokerage agreement and working with me? And they click yes, I already know that's a new client right there. So the only thing I have to worry about is timeline. That's it.
That's super cool. And that goes back to genuinely providing real value through your content. A lot of people with their call to action in their YouTube videos is always to just like, comment, and subscribe. And I'd love for you to kind of just touch on how you're actually getting people, or what you're saying in your video to get people to get to the landing page. Because some people will create assets, so they've got a buyer's guide, a seller's guide, or they've got a Calendly link, and nobody's clicking on it. So what are you saying in the video to actually
So
get people to that
initially,
page?
I always say, do my introduction. And I would say, if you're moving to the Atlanta area, I have created a free resource just for you. And then on the screen, it shows me going through that, like scrolling through that on my phone. And all you have to do is click the link in the comments below and download it, and I'll send it to you. In my newer videos where I don't necessarily say that because I don't want to break away from the house, just the houses we're filming are like in the $1 million price points. I don't want to break away from that. I have a very short intro. I kind of get straight to the point in my more newer videos. I still put the link in the caption and a pinned comment, and people still click on it. Plus they're seeing the older videos. So that's it. And then when I started saying it like that, and then I evolved to, thank you so much to everyone that's downloaded this guide. It's helped a lot of people decide if they want to move to Georgia or not. Here's the link, or click the link below if you want to download it as well. It's a great resource. I'm here to be a resource for you. And I try to put that out there because it's kind of like selling myself. And I got this from Suman. He calls himself a resource a lot. And I'm like, I'm going to start doing that because it's true. I am a resource, and people don't realize it. And they're like thinking they're moving and they don't know anyone. Well, hey, I'm the subject matter expert in this area, moving to Atlanta. I'm from here. I was born and raised here. I'm your resource. Use me. And just kind of saying that, I think, affirms what people are looking for, even if they don't know that's what they're looking for. And it's all about what you say. And I try not to overdo it. And then creating that social proof by saying, thank you to everyone that's downloaded it, makes people feel comfortable downloading it.
Yeah, that's so huge. And taking that inclusive approach. Like, a lot of people are fearful to be the first to do anything. And if you see somebody promoting a guide, you're like, am I the first to do it? Is it actually legit? But when you make people feel safe by helping people understand that others have gone through it, others have seen value. So I absolutely love that. And, with your funnel, what platform have you built the funnel on? Because a lot of people tend to overcomplicate that as well. They, spend way too much time, way too much effort when it doesn't have to be that complicated. What's the process
So I'm
look like
all
for
about
yours?
saving money. So I don't want to pay for anything extra unless I have to. So I use KV Core. That's the platform that is free through my brokerage. and it makes it very easy to create a landing page. And I figured out how to change the background picture so it's not one of those stock images, it's actually a picture of myself. And I put in whatever information I want on it, and it's live. It's very simple, and it goes automatically into
That's
my
beautiful.
CRM. I add a hashtag that way I can track their journey, and it's very simple. And I suggest anyone just use the resources that you have. You don't have to create all this stuff. I know there are agents that have stand stores and they have constant contact, and you sure you can do that if you want to spend the extra money for it, but work with what you got. We'll just work with what you have.
Yeah. Can, couldn't say it better. That's awesome. And just being resourceful. A lot of people have everything that they need at their fingertips, but they're always looking for like the perfect thing to use or what is
Mm-hmm.
slightly better. And I find more people spend time, watching comparison videos on YouTube of like this platform versus that platform than they could be executing and actually just getting it done and starting to see the momentum. With your content, Marty, you've been able to build these just super genuine connections, and I think that's what a lot of people struggle with is being themselves on camera and being able to get people to actually enjoy watching your content and getting people to like you. Do you have any tips for people that are struggling to be authentic or to be genuine or to be themselves and allowing people to get to know the real you? Because again, when I watch your content, I've been with you in person, I've seen you on video, I know the playful side and I know the side that's just an absolute weapon in business. So how do you blend that together and get people to truly
So
connect with you?
I had kind of had the hard time conceptualizing this myself when I was trying to figure out how do I show my personality. And it kind of just came to me like when you give your opinion on something, that is you showing your personality. Obviously, there's an approach to the words that you choose to use, and I feel like if I'm reading the script, I tend to trip up more. So my husband, like I call myself like one take wonder because I do my intro to the houses, I do my features of the houses all in one take. Because it's coming from a place of now, obviously, I know what I'm going to talk about. I'm not just blabbering. I know which points I'm going to hit, but it comes out more genuine when, for me, I just go natural and don't try to overthink it. I'm giving the talking points, what's most important about the house that I'm showing. Um, then I started adding in my videos on YouTube specific areas of the home that I like personally and why I like it for my lifestyle. So I'll talk about, oh, I love this mud room because can you imagine bringing your kids through the door and having them leave all their crap here that they don't have to track in the house? That's something that people like. They're like, oh, okay. Yeah, I like that too because of the same thing. I like her. I don't have to make jokes about anything. I'm just being very honest and very transparent about why I do like something. I try to keep it positive. I don't talk about things I don't like. So I just pick areas of the home that when I walk in and I'm looking at the home for the first time, I'm like, wow, that's really nice. So those are um, like ways that I've been able to show my personality. And then on Instagram, most of the stuff that I'm doing is voiceover. So I show my personality on my stories. So I can get personal on my stories because it's going to delete in 24 hours. I can talk about football because I'm a huge football fan and I talk a lot of crap about football. Um, I can talk about, the house that I'm in or my new listing. And on the stories, I do feel comfortable to be a little bit more like transparent, like, oh, I don't like this, or I could do without that because I know I'm talking to a smaller group of people and it's not going to be evergreen content that's out there forever. So I feel a little bit more personal and, I can make those, more personable connections through stories. So it seems very simple, but it's very impactful when you do it in that way.
Yeah, definitely. And that's what I find with content in general is that it's a game of inches. It's like the subtleties that you can introduce into your content make the biggest difference. Content in general is not that complicated, but when you start making these little tweaks, it can be the difference
Mm-hmm.
between leads and no leads. Now, I'd love to know about these. You kind of said you transitioned from traditional new construction to these higher end custom or semi-custom homes. I know people are going to be listening and saying, well, how the heck did you get access to that? What has it been like for you to identify who these builders are, establish relationships, get access to the properties? How did you go
So I
about
have a
that
couple
journey?
different strategies depending on how the house is listed. My first strategy is if I look at homes that are listed by agents with my brokerage, so other EXP agents, and I say, hey, I'm with EXP2. I have a YouTube channel. I would love to feature your home on my channel, and I send them a link. Um, and I've done that one time. Actually done it more than one time, but the biggest one that I've done was with this agent. He's a great agent. He always has high end new construction homes on the market. And I told him, hey, if you let me film it, I will give you a free video that you can use for wherever. They don't have YouTube channels. And even if you did, okay, so put it on your YouTube. So I give them a version without me in it, or my husband edits without me. So it's just the tour. And then on my channel, I put up the version with me. So it still looks like two different tours if you're, if you're not paying attention. So that's been great because now they're getting value out of it. And honestly, we're giving away a video that costs hundreds of dollars for you to pay someone. We're giving it to you for free. I'm just asking you to let me put it on my channel. So that has been a resource for me. Also asking agents if I can hold open houses for them at their luxury listings. Because when I do the open house, they allow me to market it. Now I can go in there with my camera and I can take a video and I'm also marketing it. And then if it's like a model, there's not a lot of luxury model homes out here. A lot of them are just like the house is the house and you have to contact the agent. And so because I'm in the market that I'm in now where I'm showing houses to my clients that are in these price points, a lot of times I'm seeing them first with my clients. And if my clients aren't interested, I'll ask the agent if I can share them with my other buyers and film the home and send it to them. And I hardly ever get any pushback. There's been one time where I filmed a video for my Instagram. Oh my gosh. So I filmed this short about this new construction neighborhood and my clients had just went under contract in it. And it was like a 45-second video. It got 60,000 views when it was up. And the agent called me. She said, hey, I know that, you're getting a lot of views. And mind you, I was bringing people in there every weekend off of this video. So I was there multiple times, a month, bringing clients in for them. And she told me that she doesn't mind, but the builder does not allow agents to film. So she asked me if I could take it down. And if I didn't take it down, they could possibly hold up my client's closing. So I just took it down. And that was the only time that I've had that happen. And I was just like, wow, whatever. So I found another builder with just as nice homes that was like, sure, do whatever you want. They have multiple floor plans. Film them all. They would invite me to film it. I'm getting the call. So, hey, this house is done. Can you film it? Sure. And, and they don't do social media, so they don't need the video. I don't have to make a video for them. So yeah, I just do that. And I filmed that neighborhood. And this was like a week later after I had to take the video down. And that video of that other neighborhood that I posted is up to 400,000 views on my Instagram. So even if one person says no or one builder says no, find somebody else because the majority of people in our industry understand the power of social media. And if they don't, you just move on. Don't get your feelings hurt, continue to show their places if your clients are interested and don't burn any bridges. Just take it down and keep it moving.
100%. And, it's funny you talk about that because I have a similar story. I did a property tour of a $3.5 million listing I had back in 2018. And the video got 40,000 views, which for me was like life-changing back then. And the property ended up selling, and the person who bought the property told their agent they don't want a home tour up of their home.
Yeah.
And I had to take it down. And I was so sad because I was like, ah, it's such a good, now it's
Hmm.
such a good reference point that I could be showing people. And they were like, yeah, if you don't take this down, we're going to file a report. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, down we go.
I've had people
I'm
that
not dealing with
commented on
that.
my videos, oh, that's my house after the fact, but they've never asked me to take it down.
Yeah.
And obviously, I filmed it before they bought it. So, it happens. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just tell people the worst they could say is no and ask you to take it down, and that's okay. You can find something else.
For sure. And I love that your approach in some of the ways that you explained about getting access to these properties is actually a mutual
Hmm.
value exchange. And, whether it be opening a house or giving them a video, I think a lot of people, when they approach other agents to get access to properties, they do it in a way that feels very selfish or one-sided. But, the way that you've done it, I could see why it's
Hmm.
mutually beneficial to both. So I think that's a really cool approach. Now, you've been at this journey, Marty, for a few years now, and you've been able to build consistency with your income. And I think that's really cool, considering if you look at the last 3 years that you've been licensed, they've been three radically different years. We had the spike of, you know, 21, we have the chaos of 22, 23 again was unexpected. This year, NAR settlement, all these things. But you've been able to consistently break six figures and have this business where, again, as you alluded to in the beginning, you're not out there working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. Like, you're actually enjoying time with your family, and you have this sense of equilibrium in your life. From Instagram to YouTube, what have been some of the biggest lessons that you've learned, whether it be mistakes or best piece of advice, or for anybody that's maybe struggling to start, looking to get started? What are some words of wisdom, I guess, that you could share with somebody
So,
today?
my biggest piece of advice, and I knew this, but I couldn't figure out mentally how to get over it myself, was to, until recently, when I attended the Atlas Alliance Summit, was to get over the limiting beliefs. Like, that was a huge thing. And because in my mind, when I started, I'm thinking, okay, I would be great. I would be perfectly fine if I sold $300,000 houses, because that check is, you know, hopefully they're paying out, whatever. I'm getting like 7 to 9,000 or 10,000 or whatever. I'm good. If I can sell one $300,000 house a month, I'm happy. Um, I wanted to do more, obviously, but I just didn't feel like, okay, I'm new. I feel like this is a good entry point. And I will feel when it's time for me to, go up in price point. And so that mindset that I had, not that it was a bad mindset, I think it was good to start off, but it allowed me to be not myself. And when I say not myself, I mean less confident, and when I would be in rooms with other agents that were doing luxury properties, because I felt like, okay, I'm new. I should be doing these $300,000 houses. And so that limiting belief that just because I'm newer in the industry, that I can only sell this type of house, that was what was my biggest thing to overcome mentally. So that's probably the biggest mistake that I made. Now, sure, you need the knowledge and you need the experience. And I believe that you can get experience by doing. You don't have to wait to a certain point to say, okay, I think I'm ready. All you have to do is change this in here. You tell yourself you're ready, and you can figure it out along the way, because at the same time, you're still a licensed individual and you know what you're talking about. And then you figure out the approach as you go, how to approach different people, how to talk to different people, when to talk and when to be quiet in certain situations, and how to gain people's trust. And you learn that. However, saying that you shouldn't be able to sell X amount of houses or these types of homes because you're new is a huge mistake. And I feel that anybody that's getting into the industry should remember that, as especially as a new agent. I had a friend who asked me, like, the other day, what do you think about me being an agent? Like, do you think I have the personality for it? And I'm like, what does personality have to do with it? You're going to find someone who wants to work with you because of your personality. All realtors aren't the same. They're not all extroverts. They're not all chatty patties. Some people are very serious, very, very professional. They're type A's, type B's, whatever. You're going to find them in the industry. at every level of success. So my advice to you is figure out who are you talking to and talk to those people. Don't try to appeal to everybody. Appeal to people that are easier for you to appeal to. You don't have to try to be this person that you're not. You know, if you don't want to do videos and you want to cold call because that's more of your personality, do it. It's all going to work. It works if you work. So I can't tell you if you're going to be a good agent because I don't know how you work. It's not based on your personality. It's based on your tenacity and your determination to make it work, no matter which route you choose. So that's the advice I would say to new agents getting in the industry, and even agents have been in the industry before. That I feel like that talking to so many people over the last couple years is one of the biggest things that I see with people, and I just kind of want to like, just like with myself, like get out of it, just do it.
Yeah. I love that. And again, as you're alluding to, I've had Barry on the channel, and this is a guy that did 6 figures in 1 month, and he's as introverted as they come, like very difficult to hold a conversation with. And he just attracts other introverts that are hyper analytical. And he's the most genuine, sweetest guy. But he just attracts his tribe, and he's okay with that. And it's serving him well. But like you said, confidence comes with experience, not before it. And I think it's important for people to just fall in love with that journey. But you said something really critical that I hope people took from that, which is that it kind of boils down to, it's not that a platform doesn't work, it's that you're not doing the work to make it work, right? You and I both know people that thrive on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or cold call or door knock. There's a path for everybody if you're willing to make it work, instead of just blaming it on the
Yeah.
platform saying it's not for me. Well, you have to audit, are you actually doing what it takes to be successful on that platform before making that judgment? Now, it's been incredible, Marty, to see that, you've not only built success for yourself, but, you've now been able to partner with other people and help them find their passion in these platforms and find, success in their own journey. In our last conversation, you opened up about why you decided to join EXP, and I'll link that entire conversation down below. But I'd really love to focus on what people can expect when partnering with you, because I think 2024 threw a lot of people for a loop. There was a lot of external distractions and things happening in the world that people are probably watching this whenever it comes out and realizing that they didn't have the year that they were hoping for. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. 2025 is not going to look any different if you don't make a change. And I know that you support, you help, you mentor, you guide. What can people expect when deciding to partner with you and clicking that link in the description to book a private
So
call with you?
I'll first start off by saying, like, I love to help people. I spend a lot of time, probably
Hmm.
more than I should, helping people that are not partnered with me, that are maybe even partnered with someone else.
Yeah.
So what you can expect when you partner with me is to have access to me. I take time. I book Zoom calls with my agents. I'm one of those people. I used to be store management, so I used to train people. So I will get on Zoom. I will walk you through it. If you're in the state of Georgia and you need contract help, we can do it together. I'll walk you through on how to do things the correct way. And I'm also a mentor with EXP too. So I can help you through your first 3 transactions and even beyond then, because even though my mentees that have graduated the program, they're still calling me, and that's fine, because I'd rather you do it the right way instead of trying to do it yourself and do it the wrong way. And then on the other hand, I want to partner with people that don't make any excuses. They call me, and they accept, any kind of answers to the questions that they might have. So not a lot of people want to hear, oh, just keep on doing it. They think that it's fluff, but it's the reality.
Yeah.
I'm talking about consistency. That's the difference between producers and non-producers, is consistency. And I know it sounds simple, but sometimes that's the answer, is consistency. So if you are a go-getter and you don't make excuses and you want to, take YouTube or social media or whatever platform you want to the next level and, make some money in the real estate industry, then click on the link below and give me a call.
I love that. No, I've seen it firsthand. You know, for anybody that books that call, I've seen how genuine Marty is, and that she's got a servant's heart. She loves to help, and you know, I've seen her take people just like you, struggling to becoming a wildly successful agent. If you're watching this, so capitalize on on your opportunity. Book that call, have a conversation with Marty, and again, Marty, thank you so much for revealing your secrets, your struggles, and you know how you've just unapologetically been yourself and built
Thank
such
you
a
so much for
successful
having
business.
me.
Of course, guys, make sure to go check out all of Marty's incredible content, and we'll see you guys in the next one.